movie review time. So this is part two. I am reviewing The Fundamentals of Caring, and it's a really critical movie, I think, that a caregiver, a parent of a child or adult child with special needs, and a family caregiver should watch. And it stars Paul Rudd and Selena Gomez, and the movie's available on Netflix. And the reason why I think it's so impactful is because of the characters that get developed out and how easily you can identify with the specific characters. Hi, my name is Robin. I am a mom to a teenager with cerebral palsy. He's also a wheelchair user. And I'm also co-owner with my husband of Wyatt Wear, a bib company that designs and manufactures high fashion bibs for teens, adults, and seniors who drool or need protection while eating. And this movie, The Fundamentals of Caring, was recommended to me by a colleague. And she was right. This movie was so good because I could identify with many of the characters and their journey. So my son Wyatt, he is a wheelchair user, has a severe form of cerebral palsy. He's nonverbal. He eats through a G-tube, and there's a few other issues. He wears hearing aids. Anyhow, the three characters that I want to talk about today, and I highly recommend that you watch it. This is a part two. I'm going to have some additional parts. I don't really want to give away too much of it because I want you to go watch it. So please go watch it. And this could be potentially a spoiler if you haven't watched it, because I'm going to go into a little bit of detail regarding the characters. But the three that I wanted to talk about today, and I will go in more depth in later videos. But the three I want to highlight today is the mom, the son, and the caregiver. But really, I'm mentioning them, but I only really want to focus on the mom. And the reason why I'm mom, and I can identify with her story and just the issues that I can specifically identify with her is hiring a caregiver. So because of Wyatt's need for adults to help him do everything, we need care. And so we are employers and we hire caregivers, and there's a big turnover in the industry as a whole. So we're very blessed when we could find one that's available for more than a year at a time. But we understand that there's lots of turnover, and so this is our path. And so the movie opens with the mom having a need to hire a caregiver. And Paul Rudd is a person who is choosing to enter the caregiving industry and to go through training. And then the mom, a parallel story, has this son with muscular dystrophy. So he's a wheelchair user, but he is verbal and but needs assistance to do everyday life tasks because he's unable to navigate life the way a typically developing person is. He's a teenager. And so identify with the mom because of the process of having to hire a caregiver and the questions that you ask and the agencies that you work with. We don't work with an agency just yet. It's private, every private pay at this point. But when Wyatt gets old enough to then we can have the assistance of an agency, then that becomes a whole nother experience. And so please weigh in on the comments, your experiences with working with agencies, or just positive as well as horror stories, trying to find caregivers. And for those that are caregivers, this is really going to be an insightful movie for you as well. And so, but this is I would like to start a dialogue so we can help each other, those that are professional caregivers and those that are needing caregiving and all this other in between. And so, so the mom, is going through the interview process with Paul Rudd's character. And so, of course, that takes me back whenever I'm starting brand new with someone and having to navigate that path. And then once she decided to hire him, that whole dance of uh, all the things that they need to do for the child while the mother is at work. And so that's a whole nother discussion within itself too. So weigh in the comments, how you do that, especially if the child is complex, just as far as their needs regarding medication, routine, if they eat through a G tube, if they, need to be changed, or if you're able to help them go to the restroom, just all that in between. So anyway, I was able to identify at a very deep level with the mom. And then when things would go wrong, and how to have that conversation with the caregiver, but in a professional kind of way, not to get emotions too tied up into it. I'm trying to stay high level because I don't want to spoil the movie for you all, but please go watch it so we could talk more about it. And I want to go a little bit deeper. I'm a little hesitant just because I don't want to give away too much, but with the mom, just as far as the path that Paul Rudd's character and the son get on. I mean, I was just locked up, chokehold, like, oh my gosh, what would I do in this situation? And it's about taking a road trip. And with traveling, it's just so tough of a conversation to have with myself regarding traveling with Wyatt because of his complex needs. And it just makes me uber paranoid because when packing, if I forget anything, the movie does deal with that. But if I forget anything, how, depending on what it is, like if it's a seizure medication, we're turning around and coming back home. There's no negotiation of that. Or if equipment breaks. And so, they deal with this in the movie. And that's why I said it's so relatable, and it's so interesting to see your story in some shape or manner captured on the screen. And you're like, yeah, that's it. You can identify. But anyway, let's continue this conversation. My next post will be talking about more of Paul Rudd's character and the son. So please, if this was interesting content, do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, please. I would greatly appreciate it so we can expand our community of helping one another. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.